Oh. I'm missing a, that.
Make this smaller.
Oh, well, I need another. Missing the lens. No, it's there. Man, it's
Put your glasses
so,
on so you
it's so,
can see the lens, right?
I need a pair of glasses so I can check my glasses.
A couple of weeks ago, I went a couple of hours with the lens missing, trying to figure out why
Why?
my sight was all of a sudden staying shy.
Oh,
Just trying to make this smaller so I can share screen.
I gotta get just glasses that I can look at the computer at work. Cause I go like this all day to get to this part.
no. Yes.
Like down here? Not ergonomic.
No.
Yeah,
But all I have to do is call the glass people and
You
get
have
them.
all three on there now.
yeah, I know, I was just trying to move it, share, split the screen, but I guess I'm not. Not gonna do
Right.
Correct.
that. And
Nope, Brian's the only one in right now.
That's
I'm in.
IT's sense of humor. So that's our IT manager's sense of humor. The red light on is the
there.
microphone off.
I'm a panelist.
Trying to catch us.
Thing with Bill. And then basically, is she supposed to be able, that looks like a public member.
I think Dorinda's part of the, well, let's find out.
Dorinda Matney?
Oh, maybe, okay. Is she one of the ones that's supposed to be presenting?
Dorinda, can you hear me?
Yes,
And you are representing,
just myself, just interested in what's happening.
okay, a member of the public, thank you. Move permission.
For 1 minute.
there,
It's
but
actually
she's not.
6, we're just looking at it. We need to put it back over here.
I want to order the meeting to start the January 26, 2023 regular meeting of the Oroville Planning Commission and Historical Advisory Committee. And call a roll.
Commissioner Arasi,
Here.
Commissioner Holland, Commissioner Sheard,
Here.
Commissioner Jensen,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Jenkins, Chairperson Durling.
Here. Okay, if everyone will stand and face the flag, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Just a minute. Takes a minute to stretch my knee out before I fall over. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Okay, this is the time if someone who wants to address the planning commission on an item that's not on the agenda, they can do so. Any item that's brought up, though, we can't take action on it, but we can listen. Do you have something, sir?
Mr. Chairperson, we have one speaker, Carlos Valdez.
Huh?
We have one speaker, Carlos Valdez.
Okay, come on. Thank you.
Good evening, Planning Commission members. Carlos Valdez. I'm a field representative from Carpenters Local Union 46 in Sacramento. This is the area that we serve. I'm going to talk about the importance of labor standards for our community. Labor standards, you may ask, what is that? Labor standards stands for healthcare, apprenticeship, and livable wages. When it comes to healthcare, there's a fact that says that nearly 50% of the California construction workers rely on some form of public assistance. And also, 1 out of 4 construction workers in California lack health insurance, and that is 2.5 times the rate of all California workers. When it comes to apprenticeship, construction apprenticeship programs are a proven escalator to the middle class, training tens of thousands of California residents every year and at no cost to taxpayers. Because of increased wages and lack of student debt, construction apprenticeship programs can be a better option than a traditional undergraduate program for some of our young people. When it comes to livable wage, it would be nice that if we implement a livable wage so the workers will be allowed to to live in the community that they work on instead of commuting 2 or 3 hours each way every day. This also means that the wages that will go back into our community as they spend their earnings locally and their tax dollars will be helped to keep funding our local schools and government. With this, I know that there's a need for us to have this in every community. I think every constituent deserves to have all these items because we have to be working in our future now. And what a better way to start is to have healthcare for everyone that works in our community. That will be a good way to get ahead of the game. And I'd like to thank you for your time. And thanks.
Anybody have any questions of him? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item is the consent calendar. Does anybody have any changes or anything on the minutes? And if not, take a motion and a second.
May I ask a question on the minutes of June 23rd?
Sure.
Regarding item 3, the general plan amendment and rezone of parcels from public to downtown mixed use, I recall in our conversation that we talked about adding a parcel to that was going to be an island otherwise. It's not a huge issue, but something that I recall from the conversation that did that not make it into the resolution, or?
If you would like, we can pull that one and I can go back and research because I actually was not at that meeting. It was typing up minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go that far because I assume this is something that's gone to council and has been approved already, right? Yeah, so it wouldn't change anything to do that. And it was just a minor thing of just having an island of public that I was going to get rid of if it didn't really matter, but.
It was the church, right?
Yeah, there was
and they went mixed use.
Is that something like
Did
a
they?
note that can be
'Cause
added
that
to the
didn't-
minutes?
That's not,
No.
they're not in.
They
oh.
did though. Yeah, I
Okay.
talked to the pastor.
Okay.
They thought it was a good thing for them.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's not reflected in the notes here, their parcel.
There's another.
Yeah, that is, I don't have a map to point to you in front of, but that's the one, that's the parcel that's just north of the parcel that we talked about adding. And then the parcel that we added to that was Book 12, page 31, parcel 7, which is right next door to it.
Okay.
So if that did make it into the resolution, then,
It did for council because
Okay.
it was presented as
Okay.
such to council.
Okay.
Any other comments on that? Okay, I'm ready for a motion and a second.
Just that housing's spelled wrong, but I don't think it matters. Housing's spelled wrong, number 4, right?
Okay.
the housing element update. But with that correction, on the June 23rd.
Sure.
Just the one right after
Right.
the one we were talking about, the housing element
Yeah,
update.
well, I can't spell, so I would never notice it.
So the motion can be to add the parcel that was added during the conversation and to correct housing.
That'd be part of the motion.
Absolutely.
I will so move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Thank you. We're missing, there we go.
Motion carries with 4 yeses and 2 absent.
Thank you. Okay, we're going on to public hearings. And I don't see anybody here, so I'm not going to go through the spiel. Is that all right?
They are on Zoom.
We do still need to open the public
Oh,
hearing.
is there anybody on the internet with us?
We don't solicit public comment from our online other than from applicants.
Yeah, but do we have any applicant?
Yes.
Oh, I better say something then, I guess. I think the most important thing is that there's a time limit to be understood. 2 minutes per speaker. Public comment session is closed after that, and then the commission will debate it. Okay, let's go to the first item, public hearing. It's item 2, minor use permit, UP 22-13 for a new 4,000 square foot building. Staff?
Okay, this project proposal consists of a new 4,000 square foot building on an existing concrete pad, and a use permit is required for the drive-through in this property zoning district of corridor mixed use, or MXC. An application for a shared parking reduction has been submitted as well. Applicant is proposing to share the surplus parking in the Courier Square Shopping Center. 18 spaces, including 1 van accessible and 5 compact, would be in front of applicant's new proposed building, Pad B. And there are 21 spaces, 1 van accessible, 1 compact, and 1 EV charging station in front of the existing building, Pad A. 15 surplus spaces are available in Pad C, which would be used by employees of the proposed business or businesses. An agreement to allow this has been signed with the neighboring property owner as part of the shared parking reduction. Due to traffic congestion concerns in the parking lot, the length of the drive-through queue, and the layout of the driveway entrances, staff recommends conditioning use of the drive-through to be limited to a scope which it can support. 9 vehicles are shown in sheet A1 of the primary site plan to illustrate the drive-through's vehicle stacking capacity. The length of the drive-through is approximately 175 feet. The national standard is 1 car per 300 square feet. Since the proposed building is 4,000 square feet, that would equate to the need for a drive-through supporting a queue of about 13 vehicles. However, the proposed structure does not have a confirmed tenant, and there will likely be 2 tenants with only 1 using the drive-through. Due to the unconfirmed tenants, there is some uncertainty in the amount of traffic that the drive-through will regularly cause. Also, the trash enclosure is located within the drive-through, so staff has included project-specific conditions in the resolution to prevent conflicts between Recology and customers, as well as to regulate the drive-through queue stacking. This project has been seen by the Development Review Committee, and its design is compatible with Oroville's design guidelines, municipal code, and performance standards. The applicant is here by Zoom and is welcome to speak now.
Shared parking?
Excuse me?
Parking.
What-
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, you're on.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi.
Hi, my name is Brian Williams with Perkins Williams and Carter Architects. Thank you very much for seeing our project tonight. Also have a representative from the owner here with us, Bill Andrews. If there's any other questions that may come up that I might not be able to field. So just really thank staff for helping us get this far with the project. The items that Daniel brought up, we paid close attention to kind of starting big picture. There was an existing bank here years ago. It had a drive-through, and since then it's been removed. And we'd like to put a new 4,000 square foot building here. The thing about it right now is we don't know who the final tenant would be. So what we've been helping the owner do is to try to create an opportunity for flexibility and multiple options. We're not sure, if it's 1, 2, or maybe 3 tenants. So the drive-through, we understand the conditions on that. It has been intentionally oversized for 2 reasons, really: to provide access for Recology to access the trash enclosure, but also just to make it a little easier for larger vehicles. We've all probably driven through a drive-through from time to time and see how tight it is. So this one's been enlarged considerably. It's about 15 foot clear. Most drive-throughs are 11 to 12 feet. And then we've widened it at the turn point for Recology. The trash enclosure was a tricky part of this project because there's really no good place for it. We don't want to put it on Oroville Dam Boulevard. There's a significant grade on the project down the lower part of the hill there that's landscaped today. And we need to be able to provide code access to this trash enclosure for future employees of the building. So we ended up kind of creating a little extension of the back area. Bill has contacted Recology and confirmed that they are able to schedule pickup times before 7 a.m. So that would be anything that came up with future tenants. We have that information known now, so that could avoid any potential conflicts. We do not desire, and the owner doesn't desire, to have a trash truck and patrons of the building sharing a drive-through. So that would be a scheduling issue. Big picture on the project, we're trying to tie into the building across the street with colors, materials, architecture to create a gateway down to the Rayleigh's Petco Center. Use a decorative stone. That was an intentional move. If there is some type of a food or a cafe or use on the side, we've put a nice outdoor patio that kind of defines the street edge, be a good amenity to the space. It's semi-covered with a structure above it, could have some lighting and things. So we don't know exactly if it will be that. This also could be a financial institution, which wouldn't necessarily leverage the patio in the same way. But we thought it was a nice amenity to start with as they're pursuing different tenancies. The building's 4-sided architecture because as you're leaving the center, coming up or to it, we didn't want to have a back to the building. So we have carried articulation to all 4 sides. The parking, like Daniel mentioned, there's a considerable amount of surplus parking on the overall site. I think it's about 96 spaces. The most restrictive use, if this were to go all food, which probably won't, would be borrowing 22 of those. So anything less than that, there's still a surplus for peak times, and it's not too far away across the street there. I think that's kind of a high level look on it. If there's any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Anyone have any questions of the applicant at this point?
I got one. So with Recology, are they, if it ends up being a drive-through, are they okay with the trucks backing out of that drive-through?
This is Bill Andrews. I had the conversation with Recology, and that was our plan, was to build the drive-through wide enough and to use thick enough pavement so that the trucks could go in, service the enclosure, and then proceed straight out past the drive-through and onto Brown Avenue. So that is definite possibility. The folks at Recology said they could also, provided, as Brian says, that it was serviced early enough in the morning, it would not be a problem for them to service it and then, of course, back out and exit the property after servicing it there. So either way will work.
Okay, because usually drive-through, they have an overhang, right? The truck probably wouldn't fit underneath, so.
Right, yeah.
So we currently did increase the height of the overhang in that case, but we would have to confirm that as we got closer. I think we have it at about 13.5, which is kind of a Caltrans standards. It's not ideal though for the drive-through window, but at this point we wanted to play it safe until we knew more about the future tenant.
Sure.
And like Bill said, they would structurally just construct that drive-through with the proper thickness, whether it's concrete or asphalt, we're not sure, but we'd use the proper section. They did provide the weight requirement for that type of path.
Okay, well, as long as they're, yeah, as long as you got that worked out with Recology. But if it's a drive-through, it has to come for a use permit, is that right?
Correct. That's why it's at Planning Commission tonight.
Okay, perfect. That's all I have.
Any other questions?
I think it's a great project. I'm excited about it. What is your timeline?
We'd love to do it right away, but we're still out. With this plan, we can then market it aggressively to tenants, potential tenants, and see what we can get.
Okay, so you're waiting till you get some anchors.
Correct.
Okay.
We want to know exactly. Yeah, we're going to build it with them in mind.
Okay.
Anything else? Close the public hearing. And turn it back to the planning commission for discussion or whatever.
I think we
It's a
all-
project, project to fill in a space that needs to be filled in. I think we're happy to see the investment.
Yep.
At least I am,
It's awesome.
so. Everything, the report was full and all the Ts were crossed and Is were dotted, so, yeah. So I'd be willing to move forward with the motion to approve.
The only concern I have is that vehicles exiting the parking, there's not a lot of room if they're going to want to make a right turn, or left turn, I'm sorry, out to Oroville Dam Boulevard. But
Generally, traffic
that's
doesn't,
okay. I mean, the
Yeah.
person can wait. But you got to realize that people going west on Oroville Dam Boulevard and wanting to turn right on Brown do so very fast. I've been to AAA several times, and just getting out of their parking lot, you have to be really careful because people just whiz around that corner and they're doing about as fast as you can go and make a turn. And I just wanted on the record that you've been warned about that. And I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it.
There is one project-specific condition created by staff that states, if existing congestion worsens, applicant shall work with property owner, Little Caesars, and other office tenants to jointly develop a common driveway configuration acceptable to all.
Well, I think that ought to be done right away, personally. I mean, it's just, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be an accident there. So I just wanted on the record that we've had that discussion. That's all I have.
And the driveway is existing as it is now. And then there's also the option to exit the property east.
I mean,
And then-
through
Yeah,
the other parking lot?
yeah, that's what's typically how customers
It's
enter and
almost the
exit.
same situation there.
Right,
You know, I mean, you know, it's, people, either Spencer or Brown, coming westbound on Oroville Dam, take those corners fast.
yes.
And I've had to be really careful getting out of AAA. And AAA's parking lot is about 150 feet to the north.
Yeah.
So the only reason I bring it up is I want it on the record that the applicant has been warned.
Okay.
So, any other discussion?
Are you worried about where the drive-through is, or?
Oh, no, actually, drive-through's fine. That's far enough north.
Well, I mean, if you want, I mean, you could, like, you know, because the drive-through is, the exit of the drive-through is kind of where the grade of the road is right there, is it not?
About,
Where the grade comes out from the additional parking,
correct.
right? I mean, if you worry about congestion there, you could make it a right turn only out of the drive-through and then have to go down that way.
Down through.
If that was an issue with
Yeah.
you're exiting left, Carl. I don't
So
know
a
if
right
that's-
in, right out?
I don't know if that's.
I don't know, somebody not realize it, and they get out there, and get frustrated because of traffic, there's a lot of traffic, using Brown to get to Rayleigh's.
Yeah, no, yeah, there is, people they don't want to wait to make a right turn on Myers.
Right.
So they'll take the shortcut.
Right.
And they'll, yes.
It's just, there's not a whole lot that can be done about it, that's, the way the parcel's designed. And, but again, I just want to bring that to everybody's attention, that is a concern of mine. I don't know if anybody else, but, I've been there. I've been exiting the parking lot for AAA, and you have got to really be careful. I mean, when you I don't even make a right turn to go out to Ordam. I always make a left and go out to Spencer. But even exiting and making a left, I hurry up because somebody coming around that corner could rear end me. So I don't know if there's
So
anything that can be done about it, but
as staff, I would suggest that we speak to our city engineer. It is obvious that driveway is much too close to Oro Boulevard. It doesn't meet existing code. And perhaps there is some signage or some lighting or something like that that can alert people turning right off of Oro Dam onto Brown that says, caution, cars exiting, something like that.
that would be helpful.
I drove that this morning at 7 o'clock this morning, and I turned left off of Brown into the parking lot, and I was quite concerned that maybe somebody would be coming down Oro Dam and turning right.
Yeah.
And
No, they do it.
It's an obvious
I've sat there
concern
and
there.
watched
Yeah.
5 cars go by before I could get out of the AAA parking lot safely.
So perhaps a condition that says to work with the city engineer prior to
Some type of warning sign or
issuance.
something.
Yeah, some type of warning sign, something like that.
What about even keep clear, like keep the intersection clear. So if there's cars backed up trying to make a left on Oro Dam, you can't car stack it right there.
That could be one solution as well, yes.
Yeah, because I know that's needed at Starbucks over on Wyandotte. It should be keep clear there.
Yeah.
And that gets into coordination with Caltrans as well. So if we.
Oh, well, that was Starbucks.
And here,
And
Oro
here.
Oh,
Dam
and here as
Boulevard
well?
is State Route 162. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, if I were at the restaurant and not going through the drive-through, and you're going to have people doing that, I mean, not everybody is going to use the drive-through. Somebody's going to go and want to exit. If I were doing that, I'd be making a right turn. I would never make a left turn. And I'd be making a right turn fast. So I just, anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse.
No, we will
So-
add that.
So unfortunately, this owner is stuck with the
Huh?
existing, the owner is stuck with the existing configuration, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Okay, I'll close the public hearing again. And any further discussion of the planning commission, and ready for a motion in a second.
Just for the record, there are no public speakers. For the record, there are no public speakers for this item.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve UP 22-13.
I'll second the motion.
Are we adding in what was discussed?
I was
We don't
gonna,
have to?
Or-
I was gonna ask that the motion include, that staff work with the, Public Works and the applicant to control, do better control or warning at that intersection, some type of language along that line in the motion. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. With that, ready for a vote?
Ms. Glover, should we have Commissioner Arasi amend his?
So I add a condition to work with the city engineer for signs and lighting related to entering and exiting the parking lot.
Perfect.
Does that work for the motioners, seconders, everyone?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that works.
Okay. Go to item 3. It's a tentative parcel map 2202 to split a parcel into 3 parcels for affordable housing projects on Lincoln. Staff?
Yes, this tentative parcel map is the 13-acre parcel on South Lincoln, and you can see it here. It's a panhandle parcel on South Lincoln, and this commission, actually the Development Review Committee has approved a 120-unit affordable housing complex, and the first phase is the family complex, 61 units. And the second phase is a senior complex, 61 units. This parcel split divides this existing single parcel into 3 parcels. This line will split between the family and the senior development, and this will be residual up here north of this parcel line.
That's the 3rd parcel.
Yeah. So this is the site plan for the family portion, the 61-unit family portion, and you can see the new parcel line would be just to the north of that with 2 entrances onto Lincoln Boulevard. So the project, the tentative parcel map is to split this into 3 lots for the convenience of the owner and developer.
And to clarify, the issue at hand is just the parcel split, not the development.
That is correct. This is just for the tentative parcel map tonight.
Does the project itself come back to the planning commission?
No, the project has been approved.
Okay, I
and,
thought you said that, but I
building
just wanted to be
plans
sure.
have been submitted and are under review right now.
Okay,
Why didn't it have to come to the planning commission?
it's properly zoned.
It was properly zoned for a
general planned also.
multifamily development.
Okay.
Okay, open the public hearing. Do we have, I thought I saw somebody on,
Mr. Chairperson, we do not have any public speakers on this item. Zoom is for viewing only. If individuals want to speak at the meeting, they do have to attend the meeting.
okay, so we can just continue. Okay.
Applicant is not here at this time.
Okay. Go ahead and close the public hearing then, and turn it over to the planning commission.
Why was so it was approved for how many units?
The family section was approved for 61 affordable units. And that's phase 1, and they have received their financing for that project from TCAC, the 9% tax credit, state 9% tax credit. And they are also seeking some additional grant funding, which the City Housing Department is participating with them to seek additional funding for the project as well.
So, it wasn't parceled off in the beginning. When they got it approved, it was just 1 parcel?
Correct.
And they parceled it off into 3 because of what, in case they don't get funding for the phase two, or for what reason?
Correct. They are making two separate projects for that, including two separate funding sources.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
It's a finance issue.
Yeah. Okay. That was my
Okay,
question.
Any other discussions or questions of staff?
Well, what would the downside be of dividing up the parcels? It doesn't seem like there's any risk really, unless I'm
I
missing
mean, dividing
something.
it the way it is, proposed?
Yes, what they're proposing to do. It will just help the future development, right? And help even if they don't get the funding, it'll help maybe somebody else get it?
Well, obviously, it's a finance thing for the family. That's usually why I always did it. I mean,
The owners right now.
yeah, you don't want,
that are
you don't want
selling to developer.
the loan to cover the whole thing. That way you can parcel, sell off the other one. So all the finances is tied to the development area. That's typically why it's done. That's why I always did it. The question I have is, it says family. State law defines family as two or more persons. So it's just need to understand that when it says family project, doesn't necessarily mean there's always going to be kids or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. It could, the whole thing can be occupied by couples under state law.
Okay. Well, there is quite a significant playground and family
Yeah,
picnic
I-
area and such here for children, but
Yeah.
that's interesting to
Well,
know.
if you can have a young couple might want to go out in the playground, you never know.
And they have that nice open space
I
at
just,
the front.
again, I'm a record nut. I just want it on the record that we all understand that the whole project can be occupied, every unit, by 2 people, not a family. I mean, a family as defined by the state.
Yeah, given the nature of demand for housing in this area, I would say that it is a very high probability that we'll get a high percentage of families in a development like
I would
this.
suspect so, but I just want it clear, Don't want anybody complaining, moving in there, said, well, the other unit only has 2 people in it, And 2 people is a family. Okay?
Or they could always just
Huh?
identify as a full family.
It just means that the units have 2 or more bedrooms, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
That's, yeah.
All right. We've closed the public hearing. We've discussed it. I'm ready for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve this item as agendized.
I'll second.
Hey, we have a motion and a second. Vote.
Motion carries with 4 yeses and 2 absent.
Okay, thank you. Next subject on the agenda is reports, discussion, and correspondence. I'll keep saying this, reminding, when it says commission reports, any commissioner that has attended a meeting anywhere that has, as part of that meeting, something to do with the city, especially in the area of planning or whatever, personally, I would like to hear about it at this point. There probably won't be any, but I just want to make sure everybody has that right to attend a meeting and make notes and then bring it up, say, this is what was decided. Did you know? And we can all say, no, we didn't know. Now we know.
Well, I did wonder at the Development Review Committee meeting, we were talking with the developer of, who purchased the apartments, and I don't know what they're called, the apartments.
The Motor Lodge?
Yes, the ones with the green apartment complex right here downtown. And exploring what he's going to be doing, and I'm wondering, is that going to come to the planning commission?
Are we talking about McGuire Suites?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's properly zoned and everything, right?
It,
It will depend on what his submittal is, because we haven't received one yet. And he's currently reworking his project due to the impact fees that he's been made aware of.
'Cause the second story is not occupied, correct? It's not, is that correct?
It's not currently occupied.
Right. And I don't think it can be currently, right? It had a lot of code enforcement issues and it didn't meet a lot of the,
I don't have the updated status on it, but I can provide that to the
If that were his
commission.
project.
okay.
I believe many of the code enforcement issues have been cleared up.
Yeah. Okay, but you know, we used to manage it. Now these guys bought it, so we don't. But I
Right.
don't believe that they had certificate of occupancy for the second story because
No.
it wasn't done correctly.
That's correct. So the upstairs rooms would have to be remodeled and expanded to meet the minimum requirements
It
for
was an
square
access
footage.
issue too. wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, access and there's no ADA. I don't know how you would do that.
Restrooms,
Restrooms are.
all of it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some.
yeah, it's a big project.
It's a big
There's a
project.
lot to do.
Yeah.
It
And the
was
buyer
an
was aware.
interesting meeting, and there's a lot going on with it.
Right.
I just,
So
wanted
I
to
think
come back
maybe
here.
this time, I mean, I know and again, I'm not involved with it anymore, so I used to manage it, I don't know more. But, you know, the pool issue needs to be dealt with,
Oh, yeah.
trash
The
enclosure issues need to be dealt with, parking
new
lot
property
issues.
owner plans to deal with all the issues, and his original intent was to turn it into apartments geared towards the younger crowd.
Right.
So-
Which
But
would
they're very, very small units
Right.
on the inside.
Yes,
So is you planning on making them like studios with a little kitchenette? Because they're still
absolutely.
small.
That's the plan. But his plan may have changed recently with the determination regarding the impact fees, which is still under discussion.
Because I remember with a conversation with the previous owner, his intentions were
Right,
well, but they didn't.
yes.
It is definitely a problematic property.
It is.
it is.
It was.
It is currently zoned downtown mixed use, MXD. So if it is converted to apartments without ground floor commercial, it will have to be rezoned. And it will then come to the planning commission.
Right, but if it has the ground floor commercial, it's
It's good
it's
to
fine.
go.
It's
What
probably
constitutes
fine.
ground floor commercial in that type of establishment? A coffee shop, something that's.
An office? Mm-hmm. Probably.
Office
Well,
space, yeah.
I don't know.
No, it can be any type of commercial office.
or commercial,
Right,
anything?
yeah. And then it conforms.
Yeah.
The whole project
Yeah.
conforms.
If a rezone was not needed, it would still go to the Development Review Committee because of the location of the project.
Because it's in the historic.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Historical Advisory Commission reports, I don't think we have any, didn't have a meeting. Okay, staff reports.
Yes, thank you. Have quite a staff report tonight. Jackie, did you want to take up your item first?
In speaking with planning staff, it is that time to select a new person for the DRC. And so we're trying to figure out who is taking Miss Natalie's spot.
And is the time flexible for people? Like if, it could be changed, right, to accommodate?
Yes, it's typically now 3 o'clock on the second Thursday of every month. But it can be changed to accommodate planning commissioners. It does need to be during regular working hours, however, because of all of the staff participants.
How long do those meetings usually go?
The longest one was 2 hours.
Any other staff reports?
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just keep on going.
Okay, so
Well-
we're not going to get a replacement named right now then?
To clarify, you're looking for somebody from the planning commission to
Yes.
join this?
Yes, the DRC is composed of all of the staff disciplines that are involved in a project, plus 2 planning commissioners. And the city code says that a planning commissioner shall serve 3 months and then chair it for 3 months, and then get replaced on a rotational basis by other planning commissioners. So that's what we're doing, is we're rotating planning commissioners. Wyatt Jenkins is on it now. He will stay on it. Glenn's been on it before.
Been on it.
So that would
Well,
leave,
I'd be willing to take a turn on it then.
And you'll come in as the person on the committee because Wyatt would be transitioning to the chair.
Yeah.
okay, so then the next, thank you.
So is anyone object to that? Everyone's
Well-
okay?
Well, it's not my turn yet, is it?
No,
'Cause
it's
I was
it's typically a
chair.
3-month period.
I'm sorry?
It's typically a 3-month period, rotational period.
Oh, just 3 months, every other 3 months or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, okay.
And I've always thought
Okay.
that ought to be changed. I don't know how it can be done. It should be 6 months. 3 months is almost, you could go 3 months and not even have a meeting.
No, you rotate every 3 months, is what I'm saying. So whoever's on it is on it for 6 months, but then they rotate and take the next seat for another 3 months. So you're you're a commissioner for 3 months, and then you rotate into the chair of the DRC for 3 months, and then the next commissioner comes in and takes your spot.
So 6 months is the most.
6 months,
that
yes,
you would
but
be
it's a
on.
3-month rotational.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Wyatt able to do it? Is he do,
He has been, yes.
okay.
Okay. So I've got Commissioner Jensen taking or Natalie's spot for the next 6 months.
Okay. We'll see what I got into, but okay, yeah, let's do it.
It's
Let's
good.
do it.
And it's interesting.
It is, it's very interesting.
It does sound interesting. With actually, the time works really well for me because that's the day of my board meetings with State Theater.
Oh, perfect.
At 5 o'clock, so
Perfect.
I'll just take a little extra time off of work.
Okay, so there are several things to talk about by staff. The first is just to report to you on a new project that has been approved by the Development Review Committee, and it's the pictures in front of you, and it's called The Grove. It is 174 luxury apartments to be on the hillside above the fish hatchery, the former Fog Olive Grove.
Okay, so right here. Oh, pardon me.
And this is the landscaped aerial. These are 2-story apartment buildings. There are 13 of them. And the layout is accessed off of Tuscan Drive, which comes off of Grand. And it is a fully gated, fully landscaped, fully security complex with views over the bluff of downtown and the Green Bridge. Lots of amenities. There is pickleball, there's a basketball court, the planned connection to the Freeman Trail. And one of the biggest amenities is the clubhouse, which is at the tip of it with a large pool, not an Olympic pool, but a large pool, and lots of amenities. It is zoned MXN, so multifamily is an approved use. That's why it did not come to the Planning Commission. But I'm here just to inform you, to make sure you understand and know about this project. Parking and setbacks were all okay. We've got some elevations here. And there were too few trash enclosures. The applicant noted that it's going to create more trash enclosures around the site. And the building plans have been submitted. They are now under review, and staffs are commenting on it. One of the things that did happen on January 17th, just this last week at the city council meeting, was that the city council approved a relief from the park impact fee. Reduced impact fees, took off the park impact fee of $541,625. And that is due to all the amenities that this project will provide. So all the replacement parkland that's here. And the council gladly did that, gladly waived that on that basis. The apartments are one bedroom, 829 square feet, two bedroom, 1,039 square feet, and three bedroom, 1,346 square feet, all with large patios and or decks. Rents will probably average $1,400 to $1,800 a month. And the pool is heated, and there's lots of amenities and meeting space in the community center. So that's just an overview of this project, just to make the Planning Commission aware. And the DRC did look at that and review it, and approved it. And then the city council has supported
They have the
it.
building permits, the building plans already in for review?
They are, they're in for submittal, and,
They're fast.
yeah.
Any time frame on when they'd start construction?
As soon as
Good idea.
possible.
Wow.
I believe he thought he could probably start construction in this summer
This
or
summer.
early fall.
Yeah, okay.
Is it the same builder that's doing this is behind the ones that are being built now, correct?
Yes, it's behind, this is Chuck Tatro is the owner and builder. He does a lot of multifamily and other projects in Chico.
And he does a good job. Yeah. Glad to have him here.
So this is our first
Great.
luxury apartment project. So hopefully it'll be really attractive, and lots of people have asked.
There should be a lot of fighting done on the project.
Get in.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna want the units on the second story on the bluff.
On the bluff.
So you're gonna have people knocking down doors and screaming bloody murder. I was there first. And
Oh, yeah. We've
I know,
already
and
put a
that
bug,
pool.
yeah, we've already put a bug in the hospital's ear about it as well.
Yeah. It's great.
Chuck
didn't hear that.
Tatro's first personal cell phone is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, City Council, February 7th, we are asking the council to approve a support letter for grant applications to study the utilization of biomass. As you know, lots of forest biomass created from the fires, and lots of ag waste is generated just west of us here. So the Butte County Fire Safe Council is applying to USDA for a grant for $500,000 to study the biomass and its utilization, and to do some feasibility on it. That will be quite useful to us at the city of Oroville, because we already have the Yosemite Clean project that is just received a grant to do its preliminary engineering work. And we also have the Poppy plant, which is a former cogeneration plant, and the owners of that plant are talking about reviving that and turning it again into a, I think the current hope is jet fuel. But there's jet fuel
Jet fuel?
from wood waste. So they're doing the feasibility on that now.
Well, that's something.
So that this will aid in promoting our large industrial area for biomass, the new wood products industry. Also on the same agenda item on consent is an extension of the PlaceWorks contract. That's the firm that's helping us update our circulation element of our general plan to meet the state law that says we have to accommodate vehicle miles traveled in our analysis for greenhouse gas generation.
Now, do we get involved in that at some point, or how does that?
Any
What's our involvement in
any
that?
amendment to the general plan comes here
Yeah,
first. Yeah.
yeah, for a recommendation to the council.
Yes. On the DRC on February 9th is a briefing on the new proposed al fresco dining ordinance, which Connor has drafted and has just given us the first draft. The idea is to allow outdoor seating in front of restaurants and other places. And so this regulates the use of sidewalks and alcohol sales and all of those other things that are potential issues, safety, potential issues for outdoor seating. Also, a drive-through pharmacy is being proposed by the Tribal Health. They have received they have given us an application for a use permit because it is a drive-through. So that will come to the Planning Commission, but it'll go to the DRC first.
Where's that gonna be?
The Tribal Health,
Okay,
yeah, across from the DMV
Right.
on Fifth Street. Also, a use permit is coming to the DRC and then the commission by the Community Action Agency, which runs the food bank, and they are expanding. So they're going to be adding a 20,000 square foot building behind their existing building to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of their service. Also, a 2,400 square foot garage / shop and house on a 5-acre parcel, sloped and tree studded on Montgomery Street. Just when you cross the bridge after the roundabout, on the left, there is the railroad tracks and a 5-acre parcel there behind the homes down in a dip. The owner wants to build a house and a RV parking and garage. So we'll be looking at that. And that goes to DRC.
why is that coming to us?
It's coming to the DRC, not to the
Okay.
Planning Commission.
Okay.
We have pending possible child care center at 2093 Fogg Avenue. That's in RL zoning, operated by the Kinzer family. And then Danny and I are working on a report on the general plan. Its health, its policies, how they're being implemented, zoning changes that have been made, any recommendations, et cetera. This is a report that is required to go to the Governor's Office of Planning and Research every year. And since the 2015 general plan was approved, we have not submitted a report about the general plan, so it's high time to do that.
When do you have to have a new general plan?
Well, the general plan was adopted in 2015. The average lifespan of a general plan is about 8 years. So in 2024, 2025, we need to start thinking about it.
Okay.
However, if it turns out that it's still largely substantially intact and
Okay.
not needing too much change, we can stretch that out.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
And that's one of the things we'll be looking at. Yeah, and housing element, of course, yeah. Yeah. What other projects that are in the wings? Grand Acres, which is a 24-lot subdivision at Grand and 21st, north of the airport on Grand. The intent there is to develop a 24-parcel attractive manufactured home development. So we are waiting on the biological and the wetland survey out there. It's a greenfield site. So we're waiting for that information. Also a possible parcel map of the, as you're driving up past the Green Bridge on Table Mountain and you pass the fish hatchery entrance there, there's Riverview Terrace Drive, and then there's a parcel right there that's right on the corner that everybody sees as they go north. It's got some illegal billboards on it and such, which we're trying to get removed. And then the current intent by the owner is to split that into 4 parcels and make 4 residential buildings. So that may happen. We talked about the McGuire Suites and the Motor Lodge. So that's the planning report. I don't know, Don and Danny, if you have anything to add.
I have one positive tidbit of information. The fixed-base operator at the city's municipal airport has a new tenant. So it's Genco Aviation. It's a woman-owned aviation company, and she will provide fixed wing and helicopter. I don't know the hell. There we go. Rotary maintenance. So she's a helicopter pilot and a fixed wing pilot, and she's been a pilot for over 10 years. She will also be offering flight training. Yes.
That's what I want.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm going to learn to fly if it kills me.
Well, you will enjoy the flight instructor. She's delightful.
All my life I've wanted to fly.
The goal is to really increase traffic at the municipal airport so that, we're not bypassed to go to Chico or Reading or other locations. We would like to have many of our corporate jets that work locally to land here in Oroville to increase the general interest in aviation and to have more fly-ins for the community. So that was.
You're going to be constructing any buildings or anything?
Not at this time. We're still looking for grant funding or loans so that we can construct more hangars to offer for rent because we still have a bit of a waiting list for hangars. We far in the future have plans on our airport improvement plan to construct a new fixed-based operator facility, but the one we have was just remodeled in 2013, so it still has some life left in it.
Can a proposed user come in and build their own building to whatever standards the city has rather than?
Their own private hangar?
Yeah.
Yes, and then it would require a ground lease.
Yeah, lease the ground from the city.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that can be done.
Absolutely.
Cool. Anything else?
I do have one more thing that I forgot to mention. We will be having most likely in February, early March, our biannual harassment and ethics training. And so that's coming up. I'll keep you guys posted on when the dates are for it, because the planning commissioners, typically that is something that you guys have to attend because you make decisions like the council does. The other commissions, it's optional. With you guys, we'll get you squared away with when the training is.
And it's an actual physical training. We don't do it.
It is typically physical. We do, for rare occasions, have an online version, but we really encourage the staff this is required of managers, the council, and also the planning commission. And we highly encourage attendance in person.
Here.
Yes.
Awesome.
Mostly because of the fact that you can ask questions and engage with the speaker versus the online where you're just listening to videos and completing it.
We had one here.
Info at the end.
3 or 4 years ago.
So we do it every 2 years. It's typically in January following an election. We had the date scheduled, and due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to cancel it and push it out. And so we will be having another date set. Once it is set, I will get the information to you guys as soon as possible so that if there's schedules that need to be readjusted with work and whatnot, that you have that information.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather come to it instead of, because last time I think it was available to do it online, I never did it. It's
Well,
just,
and it is, we have an online option, but we discourage our members from using it because in person, the presenter is there to answer questions and kind of work out any, what about this? What about that? The questions that come up sometimes with just the training.
and about how many hours is it?
Typically our plan was to do 10 to 12 for the one training and then, or for the harassment training, have lunch and then do the other one from 1 to 3. And so like 10 to 3
Yeah, basically,
is,
it's a day.
Okay.
but it'd be 2 hours lunch and then 2 hours is the plan, as long as we can pick a date that works for the council and then we invite everyone else.
And you have to do it every 2 years? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not like you go and that's, okay.
Yeah, and if any of you ever attend like the planning commission training that's typically offered in Sacramento or in Southern California, they offer these at that as well. So if at any point over the course of your career as a commissioner, you attend one of those, you can always update your training there and put it on file. So that's it. I just wanted you to be aware it's coming so that you weren't blindsided when I send out an email going, you have mandatory training on this date at this time.
And now I know when I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
take my
great.
vacation.
It'll probably be on a Tuesday, if that helps.
Not all helps.
Okay, anything else from staff?
The brief update for the Historical Advisory Committee. We did meet with our attorney regarding how to administer funds and accept donations for the award, and we were strongly advised against cash donations or cash prizes for award winners. So we'll have to incorporate that into our plans as we,
Cash mean like a gift certificate to Home Depot?
that would include a gift
That's
certificate,
considered
yes.
cash?
Say that again?
A free tree from the city? Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
A tree may be a consideration, but a gift card to Home Depot would be considered the same as cash. So we'll get creative. We'll find other
Make
options.
that the topic of our next meeting.
Yeah, if there's nothing else, then we'll adjourn the meeting, and the next meeting is February 23rd, and I probably won't be here, so having knee surgery on the 22nd.
We better let Wyatt know. We can let Wyatt know now.
Yes.
Thank you.